welcome back to the Armadillo Christmas Bazaar down here at the Palmer Event Center. This is the 49th, 49th annual Armadillo Christmas Bazaar. My name is Nakia, here with Sun Radio. We are over here on this big stage right in the middle. If you want to grab a drink and come have a seat and watch these interviews live that we're doing, these are the Sun Radio sessions where we are talking to the artists who create and sell all of this incredible art that has become such a staple of the Austin scene, as well as some of the musicians who perform. And every now and then we also get to talk to some of the folks who are from behind the scenes, who make it happen. And today we are joined by Ann Johnson. And Ann is one of the longest running producers here, I guess, probably. And certainly the person that, as I've been down here the last 4 or 5 days, I have seen pretty much every time I've been here. I don't think there's a time that I've been here that you haven't been here. And she opens it and closes it and does the daily announcements, and we'll talk all about that in a minute. But please welcome Ann Johnson.
Thank you for having me. I am actually very honored to be on stage with you at the Armadillo Christmas Bazaar.
Oh, good, because it is, as I said earlier in the last interview with Michael Terra, it really is a family here, and very quickly it's it's almost like a cult. It's like very quickly you get sucked into it and you realize it is something really, really special. And you and Bruce and Annie and the staff behind the scenes really do make that possible. And I think part of that is because it's been a part of your life for as long as it's been just about for as long as it's been a part of Bruce and Annie's life. You've been doing this since you were about 5 years old.
Yeah, every Christmas Eve of my life that we were open on Christmas Eve, I have spent at the Armadillo.
That is incredible. And when you first started as your first real job for the Armadillo Christmas Bazaar, how did that happen?
My first real job at the Armadillo Christmas Bazaar was delivering flyers when I was 5 years old with my mom. She would go around to the local downtown businesses, and I was in a radio flyer red wagon. I think they might still have that wagon in their garage.
We need to break that out for next year for sure.
It's a little rusty. It could be a piece. I'd go around with my mom, and we would go to local businesses and walk in their door and ask if we could put flyers out on their tables.
Aww.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is really a testament to not only, your time here at the Armadillo Christmas Bazaar, but the real community that you help inspire by having it every year. I mean, just that idea of a mother taking her child out to do that and delivering them by hand is just so sweet. It really invokes an image of kindness and community that I love. And a lot of that was what we heard from Michael Terra, too. I mean, you were sitting in the audience just now, hearing him talk about why the Armadillo Christmas Bazaar is his favorite art show of the year. How did that make you feel?
Oh my! It puts a huge smile on my face. And this is a big deal in Austin. It's a big deal in my family's life. It's a big deal in my whole being. And to hear that from him, and I hear it from other people, it makes it all worth it, and really puts a big smile on my face.
I love that. Well, you did have a few things that we talked about that we definitely wanted to cover, and I want to make sure I don't mess up this. I want to talk about the story with Granny and Tommy Hancock.
Oh, yeah. So every year of my life on Christmas Eve, we spent at the Christmas Bazaar. And after I started being on the production team, I was lucky enough to have 4 generations of my family here for Christmas Eve for quite a few years. So my grandmother would come in her 90s, and we also had my nieces here, and they were very little, and the Tejana Dames would play every Christmas Eve. And Bruce said that they were invited because they had the biggest guest list in town. And it was like a party, Christmas Eve party. And my lovely grandmother, who I love dearly, She could barely walk at that point.
Aw.
But if Tommy Hancock would ask her to dance, she was cutting a rug out there. Just, you were like, oh, I didn't know she could move like that. But it was so special. I mean, we have video of my nieces when they were very little dancing in the aisles, video of my grandmother dancing in the aisles, and me and my sisters dancing with them. So 4 generations of my family, that was pretty special. My nieces that are in those videos actually work for the show now, and have since they were able to. Since,
Wow.
15, I say, okay, once you're 15, you can come work for us.
Right.
And they've been here already. They've worked. My mom is still working for us.
Wow.
So there's right now, 3 generations. I need to get my great nephew here so that I can say 4 generations again.
Is he about a year off?
Yeah, he's. But yeah, my son will be here in a little bit. He may even walk in while I'm on stage. But
How old is he?
He's 4.5, well, almost 5.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
we got to get him next year in a radio flyer.
Yeah.
Passing some flyers out, filming a commercial. I really love that. And I love how there's just like a real tradition to the Armadillo Christmas Bazaar. And not just coming here, but a lot of the times there are things, for instance, on Monday, Warren Hood talked about how as long as he's been playing here, every year he plays, he gets another nightlight.
That's
And
sweet.
every year, and he said, he's got like 10 or 13 nightlights all around his house. And it kind of gave me this vision of like when the lights go out at the Hood residence from above, it probably looks like an airport, because of all of the little night lights all over the place. But that was one of the things that he was going to do when we were done, was go find the nightlight, buy it, and then come back in time to play his show. And you have something similar to that.
Yeah. My dad would buy me a heart from Crystal Works every single year from when I was very, very little. Crystal Works is right over there.
She's banging on that card right there.
They're you can buy something from $3. You can buy a $3 little gemstone heart, gemstone in the shape of a heart. And my dad would buy one for me. And up until like the last 10, 12 years, my husband started buying them for me as well. So now I have this collection of hearts, gemstone hearts that I've received from my dad and my husband. So like the most important men in my life. And it's so special. And this year, don't tell him, but I bought my son one, and I'd like to start that because he loves rocks and he loves gemstones. So actually his 4th birthday party, he wanted a golden diamond theme.
Wow.
So we had just been in California and we mined for gems. So so he's really into rocks. So he's going to get his first heart this year.
Does he have one of those rock tumblers?
No, my dad does, but yeah.
I remember the back of the Boys Life magazines, you could send in so many points or whatever. For selling enough magazines, you could get a rock tumbler.
Nice.
Yeah, and turn them
needs
into
one.
gems. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, speaking of your husband and traditions and things that are super sweet, you got engaged here at the Armadillo Christmas Bazaar. So we got to hear all about this.
Yeah, that was a good story too. When we started talking about getting married, we were obviously. I'm like, let me tell you what I want for my engagement ring. I only had two qualifications. It had to be a local jeweler because
Nice.
we know so many. And I wanted it to be low profile. So I said, I just don't want something that's going to get caught and stuck on things. I want to be able to wear it all the time and not
Sure.
have to worry about it. So my husband commissioned Steve Creekbaum, who's just over here.
Wow. I can see him from the stage right here.
Right there. So he commissioned a ring from Steve Creekbaum. They designed it together. And Steve made this ring. He even made it extra special for me. Thank you, Steve. And he got it to Pete during the show. So he had it ready and called Pete and said, I've got it here at the show. You can come pick it up. And I don't know that if Pete knew exactly when it was going to be ready.
Sure.
But, I mean, I swear he didn't have that thing in his pocket for more than 5 minutes. And he's like, Ann, we need to go outside for a walk. And I'm like, Shiny Ribs is playing right now. Like, why are we leaving? I don't want to leave. Where are we going? I'm working.
I got to dance.
So he convinces me. Actually, I think he had to get my mom and my dad in on it, and they were like, go. So he walks me outside over here to Dougsom Hill and puts the ring on the star for Austin because there's like a map up there. And it was dark, and I didn't see it. I think I actually kicked the box. And I was like, what is that on the ground? And then he gets on his knee, and he proposes. And the ring is absolutely beautiful. It's like one of my favorite things.
Can I see it?
Yes. And it's so special, and I get so many compliments
no other ring
on
like
it.
that.
Yeah, no.
That truly is one of a kind that you got right here from Steve right over there. That is really, really beautiful.
It is. It's very special. And I got to walk back into the show. Everybody knew that this was happening
Did
except
Shiny
for
Ribs
me.
know?
No, but there was a conga line, so I got to come in from, being engaged and like join in a conga line that night. It was super special.
I love that. Oh my goodness. Wait, was there a conga line this year with Shiny
There
Ribs?
was.
God, I can't believe I missed that. See, these are the reasons that you don't want to miss
have to be here every
music
second.
at the Armadillo Christmas Bazaar. And any chance you get to see Shiny Ribs, you want to take it. Okay, so while we're talking about art that has been created here and traditions of things that you've been buying here for years, what is the biggest piece of art that you've ever purchased?
The biggest piece of art I purchased was here at the show. It's a Daryl Howard piece, and she's just kind of to the right of the stage.
Okay.
I had been looking at this piece of art for years, and anytime my friends came, anytime family came, I would bring them to that booth, and I'd say, "Look at this piece; it's so beautiful." And it was a few $1,000s, and not really in my budget at the time, and I'd been looking at it. And one year, I go and I show somebody, I take someone in there, I love this piece, look at it, it's so beautiful. And Daryl comes to me and she goes, "Ann, hand me your credit card." and I was like, "What?" And she said, "Your juju is all over this piece, and now I can't sell it because you've got your juju on it, and you're just, give me your credit card."
Oh my goodness.
And I was like, okay. And I bought it. But the sweet thing about this, and oh my gosh, it makes me want to cry just thinking about it. During the rest of the show, people were talking about it, and I was telling people like, "Oh my God, I just bought this like thousands of dollar piece of art." Like, whoa. People during the show, artists and staff and my parents, came to her and started bringing her money.
Aww.
And at the end of the show, she comes back to me and she says, the total has changed, and here's how much you owe for this. And so people pitched in to buy this piece of art for me.
Wow.
Daryl's a pretty good saleswoman.
Wow. And clearly you're a pretty good person to work for because all of these folks love you so much.
It was really, really, really sweet. And it is by far like it has the biggest place in my house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Because it's
Special.
also so big.
Yeah. Yes. It is the biggest and the most expensive piece of art I have.
I love that. Well, let's talk a little bit about the future of the Armadillo Christmas Bazaar because next year is 50 years. Yeah. And the great thing about the Armadillo Christmas Bazaar is this has pretty much been the way it has been for a long time, and that's what makes it what it is. But you're also still finding new ways to grow and to make things better. And I wanted to know, what types of things we could look forward to and things you're looking at now for the future of the Armadillo Christmas Bazaar.
Yeah, next year's our 50th. That's a huge deal. There's just not a lot of things that have survived, that long in this town. I think the Chronicle does some kind of roundup of all the places that have closed at the end of the year. I just saw a post of it. I'm like, man, that's so sad. But, I have customers and friends that are customers that come into this show and just like want to hug me and say, thank you for keeping this going, and thank you for keeping it going with the same vibe that it's had. I mean, obviously we have to keep evolving, but trying to keep the real spirit of it from what it started is important. So, we're gonna do our best to like make Austin proud, and I don't know.
Yeah.
We've got the 50th. We're gonna do something great.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. And Sun Radio is so grateful to be a part of this. We've been down here, I believe, 10 years now, and I feel like it is the most natural fit for a media partner ever.
It is. You guys have been so amazing to us, and it's just we have the same people, and they like the same things, and you guys have been fantastic. I mean, above and beyond a media partner. It's the same as everyone in this building. Like
Right.
we are not partners. We're friends. We're family. We are every single person down like the facility and the people who work for them. We consider them part of our family as well, and we hope that everybody feels that.
Yeah, and I know certainly from Sun Radio's side that we do, and even when I was the Sun Radio Santa this past Saturday, which was so much fun, and you'll have 2 Sun Radio Santas this weekend, Guy Forsyth and Graham Weber from Restos. But it was just this magical thing, especially when you are in a Santa costume. You immediately meet 2 kinds of people. The type of people that are like, yes, it's Santa Claus, it's Christmas, and the type of people that are like, no, please don't talk to me. Most of the no, please don't talk to me are 3-year-olds who are like this. But we had such a good time, or I had such a good time this weekend doing that. I wanted to ask you about the application process, because we were hearing about the invitation system that Bruce and Annie have kind of curated over the years. And you recently went to a conference, I believe, where they do it a different way, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's actually a platform that organizers can sign up for where it does everything for them. And
Right.
like Michael was saying, there's a jury that gets paid to be there. They look at their 12 hours of photos, and we're just very different.
Right.
The reason I went to that conference was because I wanted to talk to other organizers and find out what their experiences were, and because at that point my only experience with art shows was this show, and it was very quickly apparent that I had nothing in common with these other organizers. And that I didn't have the challenges that they had, and we don't face the same things that they do. And I went back to the hotel that night after the conference, and I called Bruce and Annie, and I said, wow. And I mean, I had been on the production team for years, like 8-9 years at this point. And I said, well, I always knew we were a different animal, but I didn't realize that we were a different species on a different planet.
I love that.
Very, very, very different. And it just is a testament to how we do things. And we don't have the same kind of, Bruce and Annie and I are the jury. We choose artists based on their work and how they would fit in the show, and also their personalities. We
Sure.
interview every single person on Zoom if we can't. We used to do it in person, then it became Zoom or in person. I mean, some people live out of
Sure.
the state. So, and if not, a phone call will do. But that's usually, we want to see them. We
Yeah.
want to meet them. We want to see them at art shows. We want to see if they'll fit, if they're a good fit for us.
Yeah.
And I mean, we vetted every single artist in this show.
Who do you think is the artist that's been doing this the longest that's in the room today?
I do know exactly who. That is Bill and Lisa Bailey. And I think that they were part.
I heard somebody clapping back there.
Yeah, they're over in that corner there. They were at the Armadillo World headquarters.
Wow.
Yeah. So we
Wow.
have people that are here fresh this year, first year, and we have people that have been here all 49.
That's great. Well, let's shout out somebody who is a first year.
All right. It's gonna have to. Abby Crow is a first year. Thank you, Abby.
I love it.
And she is actually somebody that we did not meet before. We did a Zoom call with her, but got to see her work, and she was highly recommended by other artists that do our show.
That's great.
And that is also, that helps us kind of vet those people. And whenever they're friends with someone and their friends say, look, their work is going to be really amazing, and they're also a really lovely person.
That's great. And is that Abby over there? Are you standing in front of your booth?
No, she's a couple down.
She's a couple down. Okay. Well, I want to come see it.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, there's actually the beautiful woman with the orange
that painting
background
right
and the
there?
hat. Yeah, that's Abby's.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And wow. Oh, and she's wearing, I love it. I love that color of orange. My grandmother was a painter. My aunt was a painter.
wow.
My uncle was a painter. My mother was a painter. I have dabbled in painting, but recently I launched a Patreon, and I've been trying to post, things there. Because I've been a little, I'm a musician, so it's easy for me to post my music places. But posting the visual art, I'm not quite ready for yet. But I'm doing it all on the iPad, and it's so rewarding. And I'm just curious, before we go, is there ever like an educational component of the Armadillo Christmas Bazaar? Do people bring schools here for trips, or I guess they're already out of school by this week?
No, they're actually not out of school. Well, my son's out of school right now.
Right, right.
He just got a half day today. I need to incorporate that, I think. It's hard because of the time of year.
Sure, right.
But I do see other art shows that have like schools that come in, or some kind of program like that.
I just think it's a great way to help keep this alive. I think about it from a musician standpoint. You brought up the Chronicle. They have the Austin Music Hall of Fame, right? And in my opinion, we need to do more for the musicians who are younger so that we can continue to have an Austin Music Hall of Fame, right? And so any chance we get to help these younger folks, I think about my godson, he's 12. I met some kids, I think maybe working here this weekend when I was Santa.
Nice.
They had, tags around their neck. And I think, how can we get more kids involved so we can carry this on?
Yeah. Yeah.
We
Well, I
need
have a
more
lot of
Ann
nieces.
Johnsons.
I have a lot of nieces and nephews.
There you go.
So
There you go.
We're bringing them in. But,
Awesome.
Yes, that's a great idea.
Well, thank you for taking some time out of what I'm sure is a busy day to do this. Again, these are Sun Radio sessions. We're doing them every day of the Armadillo Christmas Bazaar. Sun Radio is down here until it's over, and we are right at the front as you come in the door. And we're so grateful to be here. And thank you to everybody here at the Armadillo Christmas Bazaar for having us. We'll be back either later today with Susanna Chaffel, if she's here, or we'll be back tomorrow with the Tiaras, I believe, and another artist from here within the Armadillo Christmas Bazaar.
Thank you so much.